Barissa scores! There's scenes here at Perry Park!
Chris Lynn has taken the wild thing and sent him.
Oh, Bateman! Bateman! Yes!
And welcome back to the Beyond the Sidelines podcast. Welcome back, everyone. I'm joined by Gus in the studio, but we've actually got a special guest on the phone.
Yes, we do.
Today.
Very special guest.
He's in Japan. It's the mighty Finn Morton.
What's he doing there?
No idea.
Konnichiwa, guys. How are we?
Yeah, we're alright.
Good.
How are you, mate?
Good. Lonely?
Oh,
I mean, so nothing's changed?
No, nothing's changed. No, it's pretty good over here. No AFL though, so Campbell would not have a great time.
No Lockie Neal playing for Panasonic Wild Knights or something like that.
No Toby Green.
No.
It's a massive loss.
oh.
I'm coming over. I'm coming over right away.
I've already bought my plane ticket.
Booked the flights. Anyway, boys, this week we've got another Fast Five. We've got some interesting topics to talk about. Chuck the timer on. We'll go straight away. Anybody got a timer up? None of us have prepared for this, so I'm going to have to get it up quickly.
Get it up, hurry up.
I've got it. All right.
Okay.
Bang. All right, first issue. Has the NRL gone soft? Sin binning for slaps in the face. What do we see, Gussie?
Right, well, this has been a big story this week. Of course, Cody Walker sin bin for slapping Jack Gajewski, if I pronounce that right.
Can you do that one again?
Gajewski.
There you go.
And
There you
Cameron
go.
Smith
There you go.
also sin bin for slapping Reed Marnie. Now, I'm pretty...
So what do you reckon?
I'm
Gus, is a slap just a penalty?
Well, I'm actually pretty annoyed. It's a bit of over-refereeing, I reckon. I can understand they have the duty of care. They've got to respect player safety. But to send someone to the bin for 10 minutes over a slap in the face is... Like, are you serious? In a prelim, it's pretty ridiculous. I think Cody Walker...
It's about these players being role models, though.
Yeah.
And I think slapping's not the message the NRL wants these players sending to kids.
Just bring back the biff, I reckon.
Yeah.
But
Bring
also,
it back.
in finals...
Just for 10 minutes in a game, you can fight.
Yeah, but in finals,
That's what they
usually
should do.
less gets called because they want free-flowing football that's interesting to watch and
Yeah,
stuff
exactly.
like that. Anyway, that's the minute. Next up, we've got a big one for the Wallabies. Reece Hodge has been suspended. Fair call?
No.
I think
That's
it's pretty tough.
ridiculous.
He was just suspended for his high tackle in the Fijian game. Phil Kearns,
Yep.
he went a bit off. He's not too happy, not too pleased.
He'll
But
play a bit of that audio
three-
now.
It is the biggest load of tripe that we've seen in world rugby for a long time. I mean, that is just rubbish. That's been brought on by the press, there's no doubt about it. Reece didn't have time to get his arms up properly. He was trying. You can actually see it in the action. And look who gets poleaxed more than anyone. Reece Hodge. That's embarrassing for world rugby. They'd even consider that.
yeah, so as you heard, Phil Kearns, he's not too pleased. But I think 3
Alright.
weeks for Hodge. 3 weeks for Hodge, that's a bit rough.
That is a bit
Really
rough.
rough.
I mean, 3 weeks for... I mean, when you look at it, Fijian player was concussed for the whole game.
Yeah. Like...
It was a shoulder to the head.
But he
It was a
also
shoulder to the
leaned
head.
into it. So.
But
He did, but
if you look at the actual tackle itself, it seems as though Reece Hodge comes off second best. I know the Fijian player went off with a head injury, and that's like it's very important nowadays, especially in rugby union. But I don't think it was intentional from Reece Hodge anyway. And I don't understand, for starters, why, if they think it was a red card offence, why wasn't it given a red card on field?
Great.
because
That's a good point.
I don't think the referee picked it up at the time, which is disappointing because the TMO should also ping it. But he
Gonna
should be
have to-
back for the quarterfinals. Fiji lost yesterday to Uruguay, so.
And
the
our
Wallabies
girl,
should
we're going to
go.
have to cut you off there. Stephen Cornelio, cheers. Stephen Cornelio has ruled himself out of the GF this weekend, boys. What do we reckon?
The mighty Giants, they're going to win anyway.
I hope Toby Green never
Well,
wins a flag.
I mean,
I hope he never wins.
They've come back from adversity already. They've had plenty of injuries during this final series, and they keep turning up. A lot of fight in that Giants side. If there was a
Literally,
year
they
were
will
gonna
eye
win
gouge
it-
people
Yeah.
and fight mid-game.
If there was
so.
a year they're going to win it, I think this is the year.
Definitely. And, you know, I was very surprised by their win over Collingwood this weekend.
Absolutely.
That was completely shocking.
They played perfect wet weather footy.
Yeah.
It was quite disappointing from both sides, though. It was not the greatest game to watch.
Oh, it was not
But,
one for the spectators. We'll say that.
Cornelio's out, but Toby Green for the Norm Smith. There's my pick.
It actually could happen.
Yeah.
I could do.
No, and I
could.
hope it never. I hope it doesn't, because he's a bloody rub.
He's also a great team player as well.
I'm going to end this segment shortly because I don't want to talk about Toby Green anymore. Does the A-League start too early? Or too late, sorry, should I say. So when does it start, boys? It starts in 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
2 weeks from Friday, so when this episode's been released. That's when the A-League starts. But you think about the NPL seasons. They finished 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So
why aren't you
then
having them at the same time?
Well, you then look at the FFA Cup. Teams like the Brisbane Strikers, come on, you Strikers.
Come on.
You know, their season's well and truly over, and they're still playing games, whereas Melbourne City, their opponents next Tuesday, they're still going through pre-season.
Exactly.
You know, no injuries. It's why can't they have an aligned season? That's my question.
Also, I'm not too worried about when the A-League starts. I'm more worried about when it ends. It goes too long. People are getting bored. There's only a limited amount of teams in the competition for starters. And I think each of them play each other 3 times throughout the season.
What would you do though?
Much.
What would you do though to make it more interesting?
Well,
Promotion relegation.
Promotion relegation. You have more teams. I think teams like the Strikers could compete in the A-League. Whether they can do it all year long, I'm not sure.
I mean, they'll get investment and new players as well.
Yeah.
So
they need some money behind them, but
and they will get that money.
The NPL's already a full. It's a competition that's in full flight.
Yeah.
So promotion relegation, it really could work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, got to cut you off there. NRL and AFL grand finals, they're on different weekends. So when did this happen? We're starting on what?
It's been the best, what they call it, the best weekend of sport, Australian sport. The AFL and NRL grand final on the same day, same weekend.
Yeah.
And yeah. They've changed it this year.
Well, why? I don't understand. Is it just this year, or have we missed it last year?
No, last year
it
was
the
the same weekend. I think, I don't know if it's the NRL, whether they've pushed everything back a week, or the AFL started early.
Well, is it a marketing ploy?
You reckon?
A marketing ploy?
Maybe.
You know, that weekend's now all AFL, and the weekend after's all rugby league. Because in the past they've had to share it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they were on separate days anyway.
But especially with the rise of the Melbourne Storm, and I say the rise, I mean they've been pretty good for the last 10 years. But you know, how many Victorians are going to travel to Sydney for the grand final when the AFL grand finals
fair enough.
the day before?
No one's going to do that.
That is a good point.
I still think, from a spectator or a neutral point of view, it's a big loss.
I'll tell you though, Melbourne Storm, not the greatest supporter base in Melbourne.
No.
It's not terrible, mate. I mean, it's not terrible.
You were making the point just before that not a lot of them make it down to the grand final or up to the grand final. I was at the 2018 grand final, and the Roosters fans outnumbered the Storm 10-1, and like a lot of people complain that the Roosters don't have many fans.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a poor showing from Melbourne, and maybe that is due to the fact that the AFL grand final was the next day.
Mate, it's easy to pour on a jersey and rock up to a grand final when it's in your city.
It is.
Yes.
I mean,
yeah.
If you really want to travel, you'll travel. If you have the means to travel, you'll also travel, and obviously if you can. Anyway, quick question, boys. Who's your pick for the granny this weekend? AFL granny. The
Giants.
big dance.
All day.
I'd have to go with
Giants.
Richmond.
Yeah, I'm going Richmond.
I think the Giants are out of gas.
I don't know.
They put up a good fight. I don't see them beating Richmond. Richmond have been great all year, and I think they'll take it out.
Look, I'm a Giants fan, so I'll say the Giants if I'm going with my heart. But if I'm going with my head, then I'm saying the Tigers. I think the Tigers are head and shoulders above anyone else this year. So, or at least
they started off pretty poorly.
They're peaking at the right time.
They did. They're peaking at the right time. Exactly. So,
yeah, I agree.
what about you, Campbell? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want. GWS have been very good in this final series. They've shown real. I mean, they've been the talk of the headlines. There's no doubt about it. Just because of the way they play and the filth in the way they play, they're probably the most disgusting team in the AFL. And I don't think anyone would disagree with that. Because I'd probably back myself in saying that they probably have the most suspensions / tribunal reports.
And sometimes that's a good thing. It shows other teams that they're fighting for it. They want it.
They don't want it in the
whether you need
right
to go
way.
that far as to like cheap stuff
They don't
like
play
what
it-
Toby Green did.
Yeah, I just think they don't play the game in the right way. Like there's a
Another-
difference between a bump and a hit than
Yeah,
literally like a punch, an eye gouge, all that stuff. There's difference. If you're gonna play hard, play hard.
Yeah.
Don't do this dirty little stuff that what you get. Oh, I'm gonna eye gouge you while there's 2 other players on you.
Yeah.
Either take a hit or like take a knee, anything like that. Don't do this grubby little stuff. Like or put them up. Like don't hide behind your teammates and stuff like that.
It's not necessary.
Not at all. Anyway, moving on. We had an excellent guest this week, guys. Again, we need more descriptive words from you guys because as always, we've got an excellent.
I was pretty good, but I haven't really said anything yet. So
Okay, enough
how
about
can
you,
you say
bud.
that?
Enough about you, champ. We had Tippah Dwan on this week from the Queensland Firebirds. She was awesome. Hear what she has to say here. So we're joined by Tippah Dwan of the Queensland Firebirds in the Suncorp Super Netball competition. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, guys.
No problem. Awesome. So we'll kick it off. What are you looking to do this season?
Well, first of all, the start of this year, maybe in April, I did my Lis Frank ligament, which is in your foot.
The what?
Lis Frank. I'd never heard it before.
I thought you
either.
were talking, said Anne Frank for a second. I was like, what? I was like, pardon me?
That sounds made up.
Yeah.
We'll just keep going. Yeah.
I did
Nah.
my Liz Frank.
Maybe we don't talk about Anne Frank on this
Yeah,
podcast.
let's not.
Yeah, see, I had no idea what it was before either. I didn't even know what the surgery was called when I was going in. So it's just the big ligament in your foot, keeps everything together. So I messed that up quite a bit. So I'm still in rehab now. Had to have 2 surgeries for it. So
Wow.
we'll,
How did you do that?
just in the warm up at training, just took off, changed direction, and bit of a pop. Yeah.
No.
And what kind of recovery was needed for an injury like that? Just a lot of rest?
Yeah, well, I went into surgery 3 days later, I think.
Yep.
And you get a few bolts, a few things put in there.
Sounds
and then,
painful.
Yeah, and then you have that in there for 2 months, and then you get them taken out. So, and then you have a new foot. Can't do it again, apparently. So,
Robofoot.
yeah.
Oh, man, that does not sound enjoyable in the slightest.
Nah.
How important is playing for the Firebirds to you?
I think it's what every netballer wants to do if they're up in that level. I've been training with them for a few years now, and just getting that opportunity to be actually contracted and in the 10 is a really big deal. So it's pretty
What
cool.
was talking to them? What's that process like? Is it training with them as a training partner, or what is it?
Yeah, it's just going in when you're needed, when you're a training partner. So you probably go in 2 trainings a week with them, but you're in the team below them, which is called the Queensland Fusion. So you're doing training on top of that as well. So it's pretty full on.
Wow.
Yeah.
So were you part of that Queensland Fusion team beforehand? So
Yeah.
like last year?
Yeah, so I was in that team for 2 years, last year and the year before, yeah.
What's the culture like at the Firebirds?
It's a pretty good culture. They've been a real winning team for a long time, so they have that culture in place. You can't really have room to mess up and stuff like that, but we always have fun, and it's a really enjoyable experience and culture. Yeah, it's really good.
Good facilities and everything?
Yeah, we have a new building.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
awesome.
So we were in the QAS before in this little dungeon of a court, and we used all their facilities, but now we have this big brand new stadium and everything, so it's pretty cool.
It's really cool, the new stadium there.
Yeah.
It's still out at QAS and stuff, QE2
Yeah.
and stuff like that,
Yeah.
but it's really cool with the new kind of, well, with the car park next to it and stuff,
Yeah,
all that kind of stuff.
exactly. Yeah.
How important is like some of more of the veteran players who are there, so players like Gretel Tippett and stuff like that, like
Yeah.
all these players who played years before, how important are they to your growth and development as a player?
Yeah, well, I remember the first training I went into was the year that they won, I think 2016. And
Yes.
they had all like Laura Geitz, Kim Rebellion
Yeah.
and stuff in there. I was freaking out.
I was about to
It
say Laura
so
Geitz
scary,
is-
Yeah. I was so scared, but they really like the first time I went in there, Gretel Tippett just ran up to me. She was like, "Hey, how are you?" Like she didn't even know who I was, but she's such a bubbly personality. And all the girls are just like, I was pretty quiet then, but all the girls are just really nice and they bring you in quite well.
That's
Yeah.
so awesome. And so, had you been a part of, you said 2016 then, that would have been when you were in grade 11?
Yeah.
So was that when you were playing with Somerville and stuff like that?
Yeah, so in grade 11 we won the premiership
Somerville?
with Somerville, yeah, so that was a good year. And yeah, we had a really good group of girls in there.
And
yeah.
what's netball like at Somerville? Is it intense? Is it?
I would say for me it'd be pretty relaxed and
For me as a professional athlete.
yeah, it's pretty relaxed, pretty fun. Like I liked going there because I was playing with all my friends, with girls, and it wasn't as intense, wasn't as hard, so I really liked it. Yeah.
And is it popular? Is it popular at Somerville? Or?
Yeah, I think it's one of the most popular sports there. I think around 150 girls do it, so it's pretty big there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Any rival schools that you love to beat?
What was our rival school? Our rival school was always Brisbane, Stay High actually,
Yeah.
and Maggie's for a bit, and yeah, but the competition kind of dropped off in grade 12 probably because all like the big stars all left and they went on to bigger things. Yeah.
Fair enough. Where have they gone? Do you know?
I know when I was in grade 10 in the Opens there were 2 girls. They were Aussie girls and I was like starstruck playing against them. And now one of them's a Sunny Coast training partner and another's a Firebirds training partner. So
Wow.
yeah, there's a few girls.
How important was school netball for your development?
I think being in the Opens earlier than you usually are, that really gave me a big step up. I thought that was like amazing being in that team. And I had a really good coach too. She's like a Queensland development coach, so she really put in the work with me, so it was really good, yeah.
Awesome. And so being in the Open team, how did that come to be? How did you come to be in the Opens in year 10 and stuff like that?
I think... So I started playing in my association that's kind of like rep netball in that year 2, I think. So from there and Opens, it just really stepped up my game from like just club netball to like actually representing.
And where did you play club?
I was in my first rep team at Metro District, so that's, around Somerville District, yeah.
Fantastic.
And how was the culture different between Somerville and club netball? Was there much of a difference?
No, I don't think there was much of a difference because I was still playing with some of the same girls. So some of the girls in my club were also in my school team, yeah.
And you're talking about representative sport. You captained the Queensland under-19s.
Yeah.
Is that right? Going to the national championships in Adelaide. What was that like as an experience?
I think that was a big step up for me because the year before I was with all these girls, like 2 of them are in the Firebirds team now. So I was more of the like little one, like youngest in the team, just trying to get in the like starting 7 and all that, and then going and being the captain, it's a lot more responsibility and you're looking after 10 girls or 12 girls pretty much, and there's just that extra level, like you talk to the umpires, you talk to the coaches, and you just have that big step up, and it's really good. It's really
How'd you
good
find Adelaide?
Adelaide? I've been down there a few times. It's always... Their crowds are really good, the Adelaide team. Like, they always have the best crowds. Like, they yell at you and everything, and you're just like, whoa. But I reckon it was a step up when I went there because there were millions of them there. But Adelaide's, it's an alright place.
There's not much to do in Adelaide.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the great crowds.
Yeah.
How important or how keen are you to make your debut?
I'm so excited to make my debut. Like, I hope it's next year sometime. Playing in the preseason games was pretty cool. So just that next level of actually putting your name down, getting in there, yeah.
And what was your involvement like this year, even though you were injured? Were you still in and around the squad?
Yeah, I was there every training, every court session. Me and another girl, she did her ACL, so we were kind of put together. We did all our stuff, and then we come back, watch, pass the ball around a little bit. So we were still in that culture and all the training sessions, so it wasn't too different.
And are you still in contact with the coaches now? Like anything they want you to do during the off-season?
Yeah, so we have a few meetings around now just about like what you're going to do for next year, how you're going to improve in that. So I'm still going in, still have my rehab stuff, so I'm always there. Yeah.
What are the main things?
Off-season.
What are the main things you've learnt since being at the Firebirds?
I think
How to play netball?
yeah,
How to play netball better?
yeah,
Pretty
just
simple.
the intensity really rises there. Like
Yeah.
it's a bit nerve-wracking at the start, but you kind of get used to it, and just the off-court things are really big on that. Like if you don't reply to emails, they get onto you and stuff like that. So a lot more responsibility. Yeah.
So you're going to make sure you have notifications turned on.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
How do you think the season has been for the Firebirds this year?
Pretty disappointing season. I think they're a culture and a team that's used to winning, so it's a bit weird getting the wooden spoon this year. But we've had plenty of injuries in the team this year. I think every girl in our team has had a little bit of an injury, so it's been crazy, yeah.
Not handy. Now, at the time of recording, grand finals this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
What's your tip for that?
Oh, I think you'd have to go Sunny Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they a new team or?
Yeah, they've
They've
only
been
been
3 years old?
3 years, yeah.
So they've been pretty good over the
they're
first
going
3
for
years
their
of
third premiership, so
Wow, in 3 years.
yeah,
That's
they've
insane,
got an
eh?
amazing coach. She's
God.
crazy, yeah.
Whoa. How important is netball to a kind of in the Australian sport scene? How important is it of a sport for young girls and for girls all alike?
Yeah, so when you're at a game, like all you hear is little girls screaming, so it's pretty important. When they come up to you, they're so cute, like they just want
Hair braided.
Yeah, exactly. Like tattooed, like sparkles all over their face. It's like, I think they just love it. They love getting around it. And even though we were losing this year, like we have one of the best crowds and fans. So because we've like been such a winning team in the past, and they just love it. Yeah.
And was netball something that you wanted to do as a kid, or was there any other sports that interested you at all?
So I pretty much did every sport under the sun when I was little. Yeah, like touch, swimming, water polo and all that. But I think I really made it further, like the next step in netball, when I made my first Queensland team. So I think that's when I was like, yeah, right, netball's my sport.
Focus on that one.
Yeah.
And did you want to do it as a career, or is it kind of something that's just come about?
Yeah, I didn't think I really would get into it until I made training partner. I was a bit surprised then, especially being in year 12. That really doesn't happen that much. So after that, I was like, yeah, I definitely want to be in the team, yeah.
And did you get any offers from any other teams, or was it all always the Firebirds?
Well, I don't think I was very well known, so I've just been with the Firebirds, but I do have a few connections with, like, being in Aussie squads and all that, so yeah. Get to know the coaches.
Transfer gossip, maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
Bit juicy one there. Inside scoop.
Now, is there any advice that you might give youngsters coming through wanting to play netball?
I think just getting into it, you just meet so many new people. Like, some of your best friends will come out of netball, so even if you're just worried about giving it a go, I reckon netball's one of the best sports to get into. Yeah.
For sure. And what's next for you?
I think just getting back to playing. I just really want to play a few games. I think I'll be back end of September, the end of this month, so back to full training, ready for next year. Yeah.
And when does the season kick off? The next one?
I think pre-season starts in January, and then the season starts in May, I think, start of May.
What's pre-season like? A lot of running, or?
Yeah, getting into my first pre-season this year was a bit crazy. A few conditioning sessions there, a lot of running, a lot of high-intensity stuff, so it's pretty full-on.
Got to get the fitness up.
Yeah.
All the fun stuff that everyone loves to do.
I love it.
And do you want to play for Australia one day? Again, you are yet to make your Firebirds debut, so
Yeah.
that's a fair way down the track.
Is that a
but-
goal?
Yeah,
Thanks,
I think...
Garcy.
That's just finishing your question.
Finishing my question.
Yeah, I would love to play for Australia. I think they just created like a new Australia A team, so it's the one below the Diamonds. So just getting into that, getting back into the Australian scene would be great. Yeah.
Are there any under 20 teams or for Australia that you could get involved with?
Yeah, so I did under 17s, under 19s, and then
Yep.
it kind of just stopped from there. But that's what they created. Like, I think it's not really under 20s, but it's just like people who they think will make it.
Who are close but not quite there.
Yeah.
That's been no cigar. What do you think the pathway system is like for netball, for young girls to move through the ranks, move through high school,
Yeah.
and then make their way into maybe training partner and then make their way into the squad? What's it
Yeah.
like? What's the pathway?
I think I remember being in a Queensland development squad kind of thing when I was 16, and I think it starts from there. And then from there you just progress and progress and progress, like 17s, 19s, and then fusion. So I think the pathway is pretty good. They kind of show you what it is when you first get into like a squad like that, and it like becomes really clear, but it's pretty good. Yeah.
And what's the best aspect of being a netballer? Is it the team environment? Is it the fitness? Or
Well, I like being amongst the girls. I reckon the team environment, definitely.
The parties? Any parties?
Maybe after a few preseason stuff.
Fair enough. And we mentioned that you're a leader in the, was it Queensland 19s?
Yeah.
How important is it for you to be a leader? Do you like the added responsibility, and would you like to see yourself maybe doing that for the Firebirds one day?
I don't think I'd ever get up to that. I think there's a lot of girls that they have that captaincy kind of vibe. I think I was that.
You're talking yourself down here.
Sell yourself.
Yeah, maybe because I'm like the youngest in the team. I don't really see myself doing that, but it would be pretty cool. Yeah, it'd be great.
Is it something you want to do?
Be a captain?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's definitely a lot of responsibility. I don't know if I could take that, but
maybe vice captain.
Yeah, maybe vice captain. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Tippah. We've really appreciated having you in. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Cheers.
And we're back, boys. Tippah was excellent.
Oh, brilliant.
So good. We also didn't mention before, but we're actually at the St. Lucia Blockbuster today.
Yeah, the last ever one.
The little-known St. Lucia Blockbuster.
Yeah.
So, we've actually got a new segment today. Since Finn is in Japan, I think we're going to call it Finn in Japan. I know, it's creative. It's creative, I know. But let's roll the theme song for it.
Finn. F-I-N-N. Finn. Finn. F-I-N-N. Finn. Finn. Finn in Japan.
Next thing you know, I'm Finn in Japan. I haven't heard that song in so bloody long.
Yeah.
But Finn, mate, you are in Japan. Tell me about it. Are you enjoying it?
I am too.
Unless you're
yeah,
somewhere where
it's,
you're not and you've snuck off.
No, I am in Japan. Can confirm. I'm in Fukuoka.
How do you say it? Fukuoka?
I thought it was Fukuoka.
Fukuoka.
That sounds pretty cool, but nah, it's Fukuoka. Went to Italy, Canada yesterday. Or when this episode
You went to Italy
released,
and Canada?
which is cool. No, I went to the games. Because I'm at the Rugby World Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot you're at the Rugby World Cup.
Quick trip around the world.
Yeah.
Exactly. You guys can see me, but the people listening can't. I'm wearing my Rugby World Cup merch, which
This
is
is
important.
just full of flexing right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I went to the
It's
Italy
important.
Canada game and I'm wearing my World Cup provided merch. Oh, what's that? That's my accreditation.
Did I
Nothing to see
mention
here.
I'm actually in Japan right now?
Where's my World Cup accreditation? Damn it. I'll find it.
Personal assistant? Yeah.
It lets me into all.
Now
It lets me into all venues. I'm so unlucky.
I've been googling
awesome being here.
Christ.
I've been googling a bit about Japan, but some little fun facts. But Finn, can you let us know what it's really like firsthand?
At least where I am, it's quite a small city, so it's quite intimidating. Because I think when I came over here, I was a bit naive, expecting people to speak English, or at least it's a broken English, and no one does. So,
So you're picking up
you guys are pretty
Japanese.
much. No, which is a problem. That's the problem.
He doesn't know what he's doing. He's walking around the city aimlessly, just going.
Have you tried to pick up some
"Please."
Japanese, like little phrases that like being like "Where is the toilet?" or something like that?
No, not yet. No,
Oh,
I should do.
jeez.
That would be valuable.
Yeah. And we joked about it about 6 weeks ago. Well, before we started the podcast, when I said I don't know how to use chopsticks. That's still true. And I haven't eaten for 3 days.
Mate, if I'm going to give you one goal above any interviews, above anything, can you please learn how to use chopsticks when you get back? And we'll go to Japanese, and I'll shout you. If you can use chopsticks, I will shout you a meal.
I guarantee he's been into a restaurant already
And ask for,
asked for a fork. He's asked for a fork, and they've gone, "You are
what?
just terrible." What is a fork?
What is a fork?
No, I was very lucky. In the place I'm staying at, there was some forks in the drawer, so I got to eat last night.
What's your
That
diet?
was-
Ramen?
yeah,
yeah, pretty much.
Mate, you're really getting all the cultures and the foods. You know, you're really experiencing Japan by the sound of it.
no, I just went to Domino's.
By the
Yeah.
sound of things, the most interesting thing in the city you're in is the train station. So,
Hackett's station, man, it is.
It looks
busy.
pretty cool.
It's packed. It's
Yeah.
It looks like an airport. It looks like a massive shopping center, but it's just the train station. It's insane. It's a center in the train station. There was like
it
some
looks like a shopping
pubs.
center.
There were some pubs and they were advertising 750ml beer. So I was like, yeah,
Wow.
seems alright.
You.
750
Yeah, I'll see
You're
you
the
in
one.
Spicy
days.
waters.
See you
Yeah,
later,
exactly.
darling.
And I got lost
Spicy
walking through the spicy waters. I got lost walking through the airport. I call it the airport,
Yeah.
but I do mean the train station.
Mhm.
And yeah, when I left, I was like 3 blocks away from where I started.
Yeah.
And I actually stumbled across the Rugby World Cup fan zone for Fukuoka, which is cool. So I'll be down there on Saturday and Sunday to
Sweet.
watch
So if you're in Japan,
the games.
Check it out.
Please come say hello.
What is
If you can speak English, that'd be so much better because I need someone to speak to.
what are the fans like in Japan? Are they really embracing the World Cup?
To be honest, mate, where I am, there isn't that much of a rugby following that I've seen yet. But I'm expecting something big at the game today or yesterday.
Well, we've seen some
Spoiler
really-
alert, we're recording this on a Thursday, so the game's today.
So, well, we've seen some really good stuff from the Japanese fans in terms of learning national anthems. Like I think you said when they played Japan. What was it? When the Japan game?
When South Africa played Japan, this was the final warm-up game before the World Cup.
Yeah.
There were hundreds, if not thousands, of Japanese fans learning the South African national anthem before kickoff.
Yeah.
So if you watch that game back, there's both anthems are being sung with full voices. Pretty
And
cool.
you were at a captain's run yesterday. Would you like to explain what a captain's run is?
The captain's run, that's where both teams have about 2 hours at the stadium, the day before a game to do final training session. That's normally run by the captain, or at least he's a major driving force. So yesterday it was Italy came first, and then Canada came a few hours later.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I ducked off to a school actually. That was about a K away. So this elementary school welcomed a few of the Italian players to Fukuoka, and they memorised the Italian national anthem. And
Pretty special.
And it is special, mate, because it's such a different language. It's such a different language that it's pretty incredible that they're going to such great lengths to welcome these players and make it such a memorable experience.
Right now, what are the plans for the next few days, mate?
What's next for Finn Morton?
Yeah.
You can also see footage of that national anthem sung by the school. Where can they find that? Rugby World Cup?
On the Rugby World Cup Facebook page, yeah.
Yep.
So that was taken by yours truly.
That's why the camera was so shaky.
Yeah, I was about to
It
say,
was
it's not the
shaky.
greatest video.
I got a headache.
I
was
felt,
shaky.
felt dizzy.
Um,
About to vomit.
It's like,
No, it's 'cause
what's he doing?
I was standing
Going up
there.
a step ladder? What's going on?
Because I was
He's on a
I was
treadmill.
standing there, and there were like cameramen and stuff who were running past me, like
Oh, right.
almost under me, type thing. So no, like actually, they
Ball in front.
didn't really, they didn't, they didn't really consider, this bloke's taking a video.
And nor should
It's cool,
they.
actually.
You're walking
No.
around with a camera, with a phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. No, so again, the Italy-Canada game today, which should be exciting. And then I think I'm doing something I think I've got something with Team USA this weekend, but I don't know for sure.
Cool.
That could be next week.
Oh, that'll be interesting.
Fun times.
Yeah.
Well, big yippity
Yeah, but I
dippity
mean-
do to you, my
Yeah,
friend.
it will.
And then I've got a few days off before France.
Yeah.
France USA next
So
week.
you're gonna go see some
In-
sumo wrestling then, hey?
Oh, I was thinking about participating, mate.
Oh, chucking a few
don't know.
kgs, eat a
Ooh,
lot
on the
of bread.
sideline special, Finn goes
I'm very,
pro.
I'm very glad to boast that I'm average height over here. So,
Oh.
I know.
Been waiting for this moment.
I haven't seen too many bald blokes though, so I still feel like a bit of an outcast.
Yeah, I mean,
Not many bald guys. So,
No.
no, it's good fun.
You
though.
can't
It's
have it
awesome
all,
being
mate.
Can't have it all.
No.
In my case, next to no hair. But
mate,
no,
but you play down your hair. Your hair's fine.
Yeah, it's not that
Your
bad.
hairline's fine. I mean, we
fine.
pay you out
It
for
is.
it as well. I mean, Ashley
Yeah.
and Martin might be getting the call up, but
Yeah.
please.
Not a sponsored
Yeah.
post.
yet.
No, it's awesome being here though, guys. It's a massive culture shock, and I'll keep you guys up to date over the next few weeks, I guess.
For sure. Well, we've got a bunch of fixtures this week. We'll stick on Rugby World Cup action. We've seen an awesome week of footy over the past week.
Yep.
And we've got another
first
excellent
week.
few weeks. The first week, what did you think about the first week, boys?
Well, upset of the tournament so far had to be on Wednesday when Uruguay
And I'm a girl.
got up over Fiji.
Yeah.
That was the joke. That's what,
Yeah, I
is-
know.
they
You
got
were
over
setting it up a
Fiji.
little bit.
Yeah.
Setting it up. They got up 30 points to 27. That's massive because I think the whole Uruguayan team's amateur, or pretty
Yeah.
much everyone.
Yeah.
Mm.
How many wins is that in the World Cup history for Uruguay?
Put them on the
Because they wouldn't
spot.
have won many
I think
games in their history.
I am on the spot, Augusta, but I'd have to say that's their first. I don't know for sure, but that's their first.
Well, they're celebrating it as though it was their first as well. So.
Well, great scenes after the game. One of the moments of the World Cup, the Uruguayan captain was interviewed, and he broke down in tears.
Yeah.
You know, it means so much to him and his players that it was great to see. Campbell, we didn't forget about it. New Zealand, South Africa, what happened?
Mm-hmm. Do we need to talk about it?
I think we need to talk about it, boys.
Well, on the day we were outplayed. Great runaway try from Scott Barrett, which was pretty awesome. I thought.
What'd you think of his dive, though? Pretty ordinary. His dive. Did you see it?
It was terrible. That is the worst effort I've ever seen from a breakaway.
Pretty ordinary. But I mean, that's why he's a second rower, right? Yeah. He's not one of the flashy backs. He's not like his brothers.
Put a bit of pizzazz on it. You know what I mean? It was pretty bad.
Yeah, it was a great game between two really good teams, though, and I think they'll probably meet in the final.
Yeah,
because they played head and shoulders above anyone else last week, except maybe Ireland. But Ireland will have to play South Africa in the quarterfinal.
Wales
should both
pretty dominant as well. Wales were pretty dominant as well. I was going to say.
But you've got to consider the quality of opposition.
Yeah, I know.
They played Georgia.
They played Georgia, and I think they got up by about 30 to 35 points. So that's a good win. And Georgia, they aren't a bad team. You know, rugby's their national sport. So that's that's a fun fact for you guys.
Georgia.
Still, I think when you're playing your top team, which Wales did, and most teams did this week, you know, you want to get up to a really good start. And I don't think they did that to that extent. Sets up a mouthwatering clash this weekend against the Wallabies, though. Wales, Australia.
I've been doing some fact-checking, boys. This was Uruguay's third World Cup win, but their first since 2003. So there
you go.
They've won one before. They've won two before.
Well, they didn't play at the 2007 or 11, so lost all of them in 15. So.
Still, is that a bit scary for Australia as well? Because we only just got over the top of Fiji.
I don't think so.
No. I don't think Uruguay. They aren't a threat.
They're not a threat to Australia per se, but it just shows that maybe Australia aren't a quality side compared to a New Zealand. I mean, we kind of knew this already, but it just kind of reinforces. Yeah.
It's hard to judge a team off one performance. I know Australia. They haven't necessarily been great in, say, the Rugby Championship, the Bledisloe Cup, and years gone by. But you've also got to consider the teams they're playing. Mm-hmm. When you're playing New Zealand, South Africa, and Argentina, 8 times a year or whatever.
Yeah.
How many times they play those teams? They're probably expected to lose.
Yeah.
Because those teams are up there with the best in the world, except Argentina. But Argentina, I mean,
they're still a good side.
Speaking of Argentina,
they're still a very good side.
That was one of the best games of the week, I'd say. France versus Argentina, very interesting game.
Mate, it was good. It was interesting, but it was very bizarre because both teams only really turned up for one half each.
Yeah.
France, they dominated the first half. Then Argentina returned serve and absolutely dominated in the second half. So
tale of two halves.
But I think what we've seen in this first 7 days of the Rugby World Cup, though, is that pretty much the pools are starting to take shape already.
Yeah.
Because most of the pools had their really decisive games in that first week. So New Zealand, South Africa, barring some upsets, maybe Italy could get up against South Africa. I don't think they could against New Zealand, but very unlikely.
Other than that Uruguay win, every other game, I'm pretty sure I tipped every team that has won this week so far. They were clearly they were easy to pick this week.
It's a pretty predictable week.
Yeah, pretty predictable.
But again, guys, look at the polls. So you look at the polls, and you can pretty much work out who's going to be the top two. Mm-hmm. You don't necessarily know the order yet, but I mean, we'll look at Pool D because we're an Australian podcast. Pool D with Wales and Australia, with Fiji losing. Uruguay, they're not going to beat Wales or Australia, so they're not going to go through. Georgia, I still think they'll lose to Fiji.
Yeah.
So I think that pool's pretty well decided.
I think
and that's why the loss of Reece Hodge isn't exactly terrible.
Yeah.
It's not great, but they'll have again. I'm predicting Dane Haylett-Petty.
Yeah,
he'll come in as a replacement.
Maybe Patea.
It's maybe.
They might risk Patea, but that
maybe even slide Jock outside, and put someone else in the centres.
Kuandrani at 13, they could, but I think Jock he's doing quite well at 13. When he gets the ball, he's holding his own, and he's really connecting the centres, the halves, and the wingers, the outside backs.
But-
So
Yeah.
I don't think they'll move Jock. Again, I'm picking Dane Haylett-Petty. He was the right winger for the Wallabies 2 years ago. He's got the experience there.
I mean, there's also
they
Adam
might-
Ashley Cooper as an option.
Yeah, but I don't think he's
The
great
Silver
experience.
Fox.
Silver Fox.
Silver Fox. He's great experience. He's great off the bench, but I don't think he's a bloke you want starting.
But
to
this
be honest.
also means that Uruguay result also means that Australia can afford to lose to Wales as well and still have a big chance of going through because of Fiji's
again,
loss.
That pool's pretty well decided.
Yeah.
That pool's pretty well decided. There'd have to be. I can't see another upset really happening in that pool.
No.
But except for Australia getting up over Wales, I could maybe see that because I think in the last 7 times they've played, Australia have won 6, so Wales has won.
Mm-hmm.
So Australia have a good record against them, but Wales, they're one of the best teams in the world at the moment. So
They are.
Yeah.
I'm really confused as well. I didn't even know this was a thing, but have you guys noticed the 5 points system in the Rugby World Cup? I'm sure you have, Finn. Have you noticed this, Angus?
5 points this. I haven't heard.
So you
of
got
it.
5 points for a win if it's what? If you score 4
Oh.
tries?
there's in rugby there's a thing called bonus points.
Yes.
Oh,
So
well, I
if you
know
score-
bonus points. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So if you score a certain amount of tries, you can get 1 point. So
Yeah.
that means you can get a maximum of 5.
Yeah.
So you might win, but if you don't, if you're not that dominant,
Yeah.
you might only get 4 points.
I think it's
And it's the same.
Sorry,
It's
go.
the same for teams who lose. If teams lose by less than 7 points,
Mhm.
7 or less points, they get a point. So you can lose but still get a point.
That's really good.
Which I think Fiji have done that in both of their games.
Yes,
so,
they've got 2 points. So, yes.
Again, not that that's going to matter too much, but I will say this too. In the Rugby World Cup, if you come third in your pool, well, if you come first, second, or third, you automatically qualify for the next World Cup.
Wow, that's
So
massive.
now,
That's
so now
huge.
for Fiji, going into the World Cup, they might have been a bit optimistic or a bit hopeful that maybe we could push for a quarterfinal spot.
Yeah.
But now it's very much we've got to make sure we get third spot because
Yeah,
otherwise
exactly.
they've got to go through qualifying. Which
I don't know if they will. I don't know if they can. They've got to beat Georgia.
They'll beat Georgia.
I think Uruguay can beat Georgia at this stage.
I don't think so.
You don't
Uruguay, if you watch the game, Uruguay deserve to win. They
Yep.
definitely deserve to win. But I think Fiji will beat Georgia.
But then they won't beat anyone
Georgia
else.
will beat Uruguay,
You reckon?
and Uruguay won't win another game. So
It's a tough
it
one.
could come down to these bonus points. So
They're
those
really good.
those 2 losing bonus points for Fiji could see them get third spot.
Yeah. What did you think of the Japan versus Russia game? What do we think of Japan's play?
That was a great
We
start
had
to the World
different
Cup.
views on it as well. I think.
We did.
I thought it was an
Yeah.
excellent game. I thought Japan actually played very well. They played very exciting footy. I don't think they were great defensively. But
Russia came out of the
understandably.
blocks flying, didn't they?
did.
Scoring the first try.
Quickest World Cup try
And
ever.
yeah,
I believe.
and we were messaging in the group chat. We're going, what's going on here? Maybe Russia's in for something.
Smoky.
Bit of a schmoky. I was calling him a schmoky in our preview.
Yeah.
still don't
you
understand that.
guys didn't believe me, and now I can kind of see why.
Yeah, they lost to Samoa.
after 2 30-point losses. But yeah,
Actually,
they went out of the box quickly, so they were decent for the first
Played well.
10 minutes.
I will butt in there on Russia. They played Samoa a few days ago.
Yes, they did.
And now there were 2 very controversial incidents in that game.
Mm.
And in that game, there were 2 yellow cards given to 2 Samoan players for head-high shots. And if you watch them, they're arguably worse than Reece Hodges.
I was about to
Yeah.
ask where they were.
These were clean shoulders to the head, but the referee in both circumstances deemed that the players were ducking. So they gave them yellow cards. That being said, both Samoan players have been referred to the judiciary. So
Well,
they'll be rubbed out. And
for 3
Reece-
weeks,
Reece
you'd
Hodge-
think.
well, Reece Hodges precedent now.
Yeah,
He sets a
exactly.
precedent.
Yeah.
That being said, I do think these incidents are worse. So I see them being... Look, they're World Cup
Well,
stars.
yeah, if someone's ducking-
Reece Hodge was originally going to be wiped out for 6 weeks, I think.
Yes, he was.
And then they downgraded it to 3. These guys, you'd think, because it's worse than
get
Reece
worse.
Hodge, they
Yeah.
should probably get 6 weeks.
Because if the players were ducking, that's worse than... Because, what was his name? Whoever, I can't remember what his name was, who got the high tackle, the shoulder charge against him, Fijian player.
Yeah.
He was leaning into it too. Like he was bracing for
He was.
impact. And he just
So
happened to
he's
get a elbow or a shoulder to the head and concussed.
He's a big guy, though, mate. And I
He is a
think,
big guy.
When you're playing rugby, your focus should be going low in defence.
It should be.
Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
So Hodge almost, you could argue he didn't have time to brace himself.
It was also a
That
covering
box.
tackle as well.
That's-
Yeah.
Does
It
that
is, mate,
plays a part as well?
Reece Hodge is a very good tackler. He's a very good tackler, so he should have done better.
He should have. But yeah, I think Japan played well. I think Russia's box kicks and kicking was dreadful.
Their reserve halfback was dreadful.
He literally just
Dreadful.
punted it straight up and for a box
Not
kick.
even that.
I was like,
There were
what the
times
hell?
when he was box kicking, and he looked like he'd never done it before.
Yes. He
And I
literally
think
just...
he was that.
Mm.
He was a 35-year-old debuting at the World Cup, so
He literally just kicked it
You
like
know,
pretty much.
It's never too
1
late,
metre
boys. It's
forward.
never too late.
never too late.
He kicked it
Never
1
too
metre
late.
forward in a box kick. I was like, what are you trying to gain from that? You're just kicking for the sake of kicking.
Yeah.
Like, it's stupid. Anyway, we've got to move on because we don't have much time left. We're going to stick to... Oh, no, we're going to move to AFL.
Yeah.
AFL, we've got the grand final this weekend. That was a smooth transition. That's
Yeah,
what we
it
call the
was
segue
beautiful.
into business.
Good work, mate. The
We
granny.
discussed this before. It's currently, as I look at the grand final clock, 2 days, at the time of recording, 2 days, 2 hours, 12 minutes and 14 seconds, 13 seconds, 12 seconds, till the grand final starts.
A lot of advertising for Mars bars on that website.
Yeah, on the website,
I'm
not a
really
sponsor.
hungry now.
Enough chocolate to deal with anything.
AFL Grand Final countdown update, please.
On the website, it is currently 2 days, 2 hours, 11 minutes, 52, 51, 50 seconds at the time of recording. We probably will put something on our story. Who knows? You may see it, you may not. Sorry, Finn's
Update,
mucking up.
please.
Update, 2 days, 2 hours, 11 minutes and 37 seconds.
Great.
Cheers. What do we reckon about this game? It's probably one of the more exciting grand finals we've probably seen. Finn's gone walkabout, basically. His audio's cooked. But we're going to take a quick break while we try and get him back. Just one moment. All right, so we got the man in Japan back. I think that's your nickname now, the man in Japan. What do you think about it?
The man.
I'm just happy to get a nickname. It's been long overdue. So,
Yeah, exactly. Well,
I thought
Jack,
it was
Jack Pack's over here.
Wasn't it
I'm
Funny
next.
Guy Finn?
It
Or
was
is-
Funny Guy Finn.
Is that
that,
gone
that is
already?
true, actually. But that's not so much a nickname. That's an observation.
I guess.
Oh, right. Okay.
This is probably one of the more interesting grand finals. We're talking about the AFL grand final
Yeah.
here that I've probably ever seen. I mean,
Yeah.
GWS.
It's bizarre, mate.
Well, look,
It's bizarre.
a couple of weeks ago, we weren't predicting this, were we?
No, we've got 3rd and 6th in the final. Like,
Yeah.
we've got the people who place 3rd and the people who place 6th.
That rarely happens, does it?
I think we all expected the Tigers to get there, though, didn't we?
Yeah,
Yeah, we
did.
all tipped
Really?
the Tigers.
I think it was Tigers,
Collingwood.
Collingwood
Yeah.
was the pick.
The Cats were slipping a bit. The Tigers peaking at the right time. They looked like they were going to get there.
Yeah.
Again, I'm a Giants fan. I really didn't see them getting past the first elimination final.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see them
Look-
beating the Dogs
Look,
either. but-
we were saying before that I think that the Giants are out of puff. I think they've been lucky to get to the stage they're at now. I mean, they've done pretty well in the face of adversity, but yeah, I don't think they're going to beat a strong Tigers side this week. This weekend.
You have to
yeah.
applaud the Giants management, though.
Oh yeah.
Taking the gutsy call of resting Toby Green last week. Now he's going to be fresh and ready to go.
Yeah, that was
when it
their
counts.
choice. That was their choice.
Rest.
Stephen Cornelio is also out. I think Lockie Whitfield's out as well, potentially.
He is.
Or
he
maybe
is.
he
I
was
forgot what
last week at least.
I forgot what it was for.
I think it was an injury. Appendicitis.
Ooh.
That's the one.
That's
rough.
Good
Zinger.
thinking. Again, so injuries, they become a factor. I think the Tigers, what they've done, with Rance being out since round one, they've built a really good depth. And
They have.
their VFL side, they won the VFL, so
Yep.
they've got that depth with their twos
Mm.
and that confidence in their players that they can step up and they can really succeed at the AFL level. They've shown that during the season,
And that's so important. You see a lot of the times with premiers that it's the depth and injuries. So VFL is one of the most important competitions. In the year the Dogs won the flag, we also won the VFL flag. So that just shows you that depth is probably the most important.
Yeah, you also see with the Brisbane Lions and their
Exactly.
NEFL side how well the Brisbane Lions have done this year.
Yeah.
So obviously
I said
it's
this-
important.
I said this last week. Takes a squad to win a championship,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
Not a team.
Definitely
And I think
does.
that's what we're saying. The Lions didn't get there this year, but they got pretty bloody close for
Oh,
a
yeah.
team who wasn't in the conversation at the start of the season.
Oh
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think Finn, you'll pick GWS, but Gussie and I are picking Richmond
yeah.
this week. I think
Again,
you're picking with your heart
that's
on
hard
that
over
one.
head.
Yeah,
Hard over head.
I think you're picking with your heart there. This week, what have we got in NRL, Gussie?
Well, we'll start off with QRL. We've got our grand finalists in the QRL.
Which we did not expect this. I did not expect Sunshine Coast to get knocked out.
Yeah.
Or Blackhawks by that, man.
Yeah.
I think Jack Pack did last week, didn't he? I think
You calling me Jack Pack now?
I am. I mean,
Yeah.
You picked the Blackhawks.
Well, no, I picked
He
the
picked
Burleigh
the Bears.
Bears. I picked the
you?
Burleigh
Bears.
Bears to beat the Falcons.
Gee whiz.
I had a I'm saying my predictions always come to fruition here, boys.
Mate, you're like the octopus from the 2010 World Cup.
I didn't expect the Blackhawks to lose. They lost 26-14 against the Winner Manly Seagulls. Seagulls, sorry, not Seagulls.
Yeah.
They were just too good on the day, scoring 5 tries to 2. So they're through to the grand final. And the Bears defeated the seemingly unbeatable Falcons side. Now, the Falcons managed to save 2 losses for the final series. They'd only lost once previously in the whole season. So it just shows that maybe they choke when it comes to the big stage.
He's choking.
Well, no, did they show their hand too early?
I was saying it the other way. I thought they looked tired when they lost that first game of the finals round. I thought they looked tired. I didn't think they had what it takes to go through to the grand final, and it shows they didn't.
Did they lose confidence, do you think, after that
Yeah,
loss
I
in
think
the
they
finals?
did. I think they did.
They thought we're not as hot as we think we are?
Yeah.
Well,
Alright.
such a big thing in sport is pressure, and they were coming into this final series as, with the potential to become probably the best team in Queensland Rugby League history.
Yeah.
In the history of the Intrust Super Cup.
Have we
Doing
got
something
any
that was just-
have we got any tips for the grand final, boys?
I
Who
think
do you
you got to
think's
go
gonna
with.
take it
I
out?
think you got to go with the Bears.
Yep.
They beat the best team
Yeah.
in the competition all season
Yeah.
convincingly. I think they'll take it. Burleigh Bears.
yeah,
over
the
Seagulls.
The Burleigh Bears also did beat the Winner Manly Seagulls in the first round of the finals
There you go.
away from home. So that's another thing to keep in mind. I think the Burleigh Bears
And
will win it as well.
This one's not being played at Wynnum either. It's been playing at Dolphin Stadium. So
Yeah,
it's a bit
not
of a
at
neutral venue.
Suncorp. Not at Suncorp this year.
That's true, actually. That
Yeah,
is
because
true.
they usually held it at Suncorp. I think it's better because you get more of an atmosphere at the on game day. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, for sure.
But that opens the sorry, Campbell. That opens the debate. We've spoken about this. The Dolphins, could they field Redcliffe? Could they field a NRL side? Now,
I
Queensland
think they
Rugby
could.
League, or even the NRL themselves, they've clearly gone. Dolphins Stadium has enough capacity to host a Intra Super Cup final.
Definitely.
So even if they put temporary stands in there, maybe it could happen.
Yeah.
It's a
think it
push.
could.
It's a push, but it's not as unrealistic as what it was a few weeks
Anyway,
ago.
No, it's definitely
we will
not.
move on to the NRL though now.
We got prelim finals.
Yeah, we do have prelim finals this weekend. The Rabbitohs defeated Manly, and the Storm, the Storm defeated Parramatta. Campbell's telling me to hurry up.
Yeah.
I'm going as fast as I can. Right, so the prelim finals are set for this weekend. The Roosters versus the Storm at the SCG. Boys, who's excited for that? I'm so excited. I'm so keen. The two best teams in the competition taking on each other. No JWH for the Roosters, so that might be something in the Storm's favour. I don't know what they're doing off. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing, Finn?
Finn's just doing some funny guy Finn stuff off camera.
So
Oh my
it's
God.
exclusive to the podcasters too.
Exactly.
guys.
Sorry, guys. Exclusive content. If you
Right.
want to see that content, let us know.
Right, and the
You gotta
and
subscribe.
the Friday. So the Roosters Storm game, that's the Saturday night game, and the Raiders Rabbitohs is a Friday night game. Right. Okay, mate. Seriously.
Yeah. No,
I'm trying to do this, and you're.
Sorry, continue.
If people are seeing what
Sorry.
I'm seeing, anyway. Right. The Raiders are taking on the Rabbitohs. The Raiders are looking to get into their first grand final in 25 years. They got the green sausages out there in Canberra as well. Have you guys
Pardon
seen
me?
that?
Do you want to come again?
The
Sorry.
green sausages. So they're
What?
doing
What?
snacks, green sausages on green bread. You can get a
Is that a
green
euphemism?
chocolate milk as well, or green icebreaker or whatever they're
I
called.
think they're just flogging off mouldy bread and mouldy.
Well, I
sausages.
actually
Yeah.
saw a comment on Facebook, and it's like, those aren't green sausages. They're actually sausages from the last time the Raiders won the grand final. 25-year-old sausages. And I'm like, that's
Gussie-
good.
Gus, if we get into some bit of analysis though, Jimmy the Jet, he's been ruled out with a thumb
Yep.
complaint.
Yep.
How much of a loss is that for the South Sydney Rabbitohs?
Oh, definitely. It means that Souths have to shift their backline again, and we can see that the game against the Roosters, they had to shift their backline and they had to put Adam Dewey in the centre position, and that did not work well. The Roosters targeted him all night and did a number over Souths. We'll see what Wayne Bennett does this time. I think they want to keep Dewey in fullback. There's been questions over whether Dane Gaggai's defence is good enough. So yeah, they've had problems with both centres. I'm not sure what Wayne will do, but he's a master coach. He'll figure something out. And I assume that Souths will do well down in Canberra. I actually think Souths are going to beat Canberra.
And another interesting takeaway from that game is 7 Englishmen are playing in the game across the two
Isn't
halves.
that great?
So
Isn't that great that we've got such great English talent coming over to Australia and doing well? The Burgess boys, Bateman, Elliot Whitehead, and what's his face? Number 9.
Have a Scooby-Doo what you're talking about, mate.
Hodgson.
There we go. Right, and now, what are we getting on to now?
Well, we've got A-League starting.
Who are our tips for those games, guys?
Tips. So I'm going the Roosters and the Rabbitohs for a grand final, Sydney Derby grand final.
Be interesting.
So am I.
Yeah.
And for the record, Gussie, now we did set at the UQ student bar, the Red Room, at the start of the year, the day before the NRL season started, and we did our tips.
Yep.
For the record, I did tip the Rabbitohs.
He did tip the Rabbitohs win, but I tipped the Roosters to win.
Ooh.
Right. So we'll see
again,
what happens.
This is all hypothetical because we could see a Storm Raiders grand final.
Yeah.
Too.
Good.
Yeah.
But watch the master do his thing and watch me get this tip right. In which case,
Don't
I'll be
think
the
so,
NRL
mate.
guy.
Oh, really?
I'll be the NRL
Okay.
guy,
We'll switch over.
and you'll just be the
All right.
you'll be the rusher analysis.
Yeah.
Or
Oh, yeah, sure.
Russia
whatever-
analysis.
That is terrible.
we need someone to follow the Russian rugby team.
I know,
according
right?
to Gussie, they're an absolute force.
They're a powerhouse.
Well, now I've got to go
What's
for them. God.
Smoky for the competition, I reckon.
Yeah, no doubt.
Smoky.
Schmoky. Anyway,
Absolute smoky.
boys, A-League started. Oh, it's about to start.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
2 weeks,
Who's
yeah.
excited for A-League? Yeah.
I can't wait to watch the Phoenix get up to third. Like 5 weeks into the season, they'll be coming third.
Yeah.
Then by the time finals rolls around, we'll come 7th.
Is that
So I think happens every year. Love the
is
Phoenix.
that Sarpreet Singh guy still playing for Phoenix, or has he gone
I think he
over?
moved overseas.
He's
He's a
a
Bayern. Yeah.
He's at
a
Bayern
Bayern.
Munich.
Bayern.
He's at Bayern
Isn't
Munich.
that-
So good on him. That's a great thing for New Zealand football.
That's a great story.
Great thing for him. But what's his exposure going to be like? I think he's in the Champions League squad, to be fair.
Oh, I think
Wow.
he started a few games as well. I've seen him start a few crucial games for Bayern.
I'll never forget, in pre-season, the New Zealand media went nuts because he scored his first goal for Bayern Munich in a pre-season game.
Yeah.
But it was in a game where they won like 25-0.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's not an exaggeration either.
Thank you
They
very much, Kiwi
smashed
media.
someone. And the New Zealand Kiwi media were going, Singh's scored
Yeah.
for Bayern Munich.
Future
Yeah,
star.
so New Zealand football, that's my number one pet peeve. So
Yeah.
Well,
I could pretty much do my own podcast about
we'll
the,
see how they go. We'll see how
weaknesses of that organisation.
we'll see how they go this year.
well, they're playing a new side in the first game of the season. They're playing Western United, which are basically
course.
Geelong.
Yeah.
Basically Geelong
West-
and Sunshine
from
and stuff
Westpac,
like
right?
that.
I think they're playing in New Zealand.
Oh, yes.
They're playing
Yes, they're playing at
in New
Westpac.
Zealand.
Yeah.
Actually, that is true. Westpac Stadium is what it's called right now, but I will say this. From January 1st next year, it's going to be called Sky Stadium. So
Yeah.
we're going to make sure to get our stadiums right.
Pronunciation.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's good. We've also got the Mighty.
The mighty.
The Mighty.
Horse.
No. We've got the Strikers
Yeah,
play
that-
Melbourne City this weekend, or this Tuesday, Perry Park.
I might fly back.
I might fly back just for it.
Look after Swallow Hill for me.
Yeah,
Dude, yeah.
I'm down at the
I wanna-
Gold Coast, so I'm gonna have to drive back up. So
I'll also make sure I actually turn up this time, boys.
No,
I've been a
after
bit-
last week's
I've-
fiasco, mate, we don't
Yeah.
care.
Oh,
What
really?
you do?
Okay.
You're
Well,
a li-
you're an Olympic fan.
yeah. Well,
Olympic
no.
fan.
I'm a Brisbane fan. Well, not really. I mean, I'm a
Brand
Roosters
wagoner.
fan. But
Bandwagon.
I'm
A
quoting
brand-
you.
a
Last week
brand
you said, cut me open and I bleed red of Olympic. Not like Campbell
I'm
and
pretty
who
sure I
said,
just said
cut
I
us
bleed
open.
red like blood.
Well, we
anyway.
we bleed yellow and blue,
Green.
which turns into a
Mixture of
weird green.
It's not very healthy, but I mean, We love our team.
We do. I was actually looking at the Melbourne City side, which is who they play at Perry Park, which is an exciting game. I don't rate Melbourne City's squad. Don't think they've got it.
Look, they've been since their entrance into the competition, they've been pretty disappointing.
No, been all right.
No, I think they've. I don't think they've lived up to the hype.
They finished
because they're owned by
Manchester City. The
group.
The
City
the
group.
Manchester City group. So
The
you'd think
Sheikh Mansour
they'd
group.
get some decent players in that squad, and they haven't. I don't think they've won one yet. No, they wouldn't have.
They haven't.
They've
Look,
been to
that
the
was the
finals pretty much every year, but they just haven't followed through.
That was the expectation. You know,
Yeah.
they were formerly the Melbourne Heart.
Yeah.
You know, remember their jersey,
Oh
the
my
white
God.
Yeah.
and the
It's
white
disgusting.
and red
Red.
stripes.
Yeah.
But then when the Heart were bought out by City, became Melbourne City,
Yep.
the expectation was that this team's not only going to contest, but
gonna
they're
win it
probably
every
going to
year.
win 2 out of the next 3 premierships.
Yeah.
I think that was almost the expectation. That was the benchmark.
You see the dominance that Manchester City have over in England. You'd think it'd be quite similar over here.
You would, and I just don't rate their squad. I was looking at it before the game,
Yeah.
well, looking at it, and I just don't think. I think strikers can come
Yeah.
out with it and get
Well,
into the final.
let's hope so.
Well, make sure, if you do want to go to the game at Perry Park on Tuesday, make sure you pre-order your tickets, because
I got to
I'm
do
only
that.
speculating here, but I imagine it's going to sell out.
Going to sell out.
yeah,
It's
But
cool.
also, guys, 2 things. We touched on it before. It's 2 teams, 1 season coming to the end of their season, 1 team coming to the end of their season, 1 team about to start their season. How's that going to be a factor? How's the pressure going to influence City? But also, special congratulations to the Lions in the NPLW competition for winning their championship. So, that's important
Congratulations.
too.
They were minor premiers, and now they're
Yep.
full premiers, which is awesome.
Yeah,
They
did
won it
double.
on. They won it
And
on
that's-
penalties as well. 4-2 on penalties.
did.
Final score was 1-1. So they were able to follow through and get their most important win of the season, the grand final.
Absolutely.
So
Definitely.
congratulations, ladies.
Anyway, we haven't got much time, but we're going to touch on cricket quickly because the
Yeah.
Queensland Queensland Bulls?
It's called the Bulls Masters First Grade. Not sure if
Which is
everyone
just first
keeps up
grade
to,
cricket.
Yeah,
It's first grade cricket.
Yeah, the level below like Queensland, South Australia, Shield.
Yeah, it's
Shield
the
stuff.
level below Shield cricket.
Yeah.
basically.
So you see players like Ben Cutting playing in this competition. The Floros brothers. Do you guys remember Jason Floros?
Yes, I do.
Played for the Heat. So we'll start off with Ben Cutting. Ben Cutting made a solid 41 in South Brisbane's dominant win over Sandgate. The Floros brothers caused havoc against Sunshine Coast, but they didn't actually win the game. Cameron Boyce scored 36 runs and took a wicket in Toombull's 5-run win over Redlands. Cameron Gannon, 3 for 35, helped Northern Suburbs defeat Western Suburbs. Go Northern Suburbs.
Up the Northern
I don't,
Suburbs.
I don't actually go
By
for the
Southies.
cricket. I don't
You're
go
a
for
South, mate. You're a South.
You're a
Yeah.
Southsider, mate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that.
Nah, you shouldn't be.
Oh,
Oh, awesome.
Oh, that was
Right,
cringe.
anyway.
No, I live in the nice part of South
Oh,
Brisbane.
yeah.
Yeah, you do.
It's
Yeah.
more southwest, if anything.
Yeah, right,
So,
Yeah, okay.
Anyway,
It's,
So
as
whatever makes you get to sleep at night, mate.
Anyway, as I was saying, Northern Suburbs defeated Western Suburbs in a 2-run thriller, and we had some ex-BBC boys playing for the University of Queensland. Jack Clayton and Matt Willens were in action as they breezed past Ipswich Logan. I think they're called Ipswich/Logan Dolphins or something. They
pick
one.
beat them
Jack
by no, they're both. I
Just
think
pick one.
we'll go Ipswich by 7 wickets.
That's wrong.
And my old club Valleys were able to get the W against the Gold Coast.
Joe Burns playing?
I don't think so. Well, he
Anyway.
wasn't on the score sheet, so I think he was playing for Queensland.
Anyway. I think that's what we've got time for, boys. We're running very late.
Yes.
I've got to run.
You've got to run.
run.
Yeah, he's got to run. Well, thank you very much, boys. This is our 9th episode, so let us know if
Crazy.
you have any feedback. And also, please follow us on social media. We're trying to get to that
Cheers.
1K mark, which is...
We're not that desperate, are we?
Definitely
Like, I mean,
No,
we'd like it,
please,
but-
please. We'd
Please.
appreciate it. We'd appreciate it. You can follow us on Instagram at _beyondthesidelines_. And you can also get your podcast basically anywhere you listen to podcasts. So you can either get it on YouTube, Facebook, or we'd love you to listen to it on Spotify when you're in the car, things like that. But anyway, cheers, boys. Have fun in Japan, big boy.